Hi, welcome back to Chemical Engineering Statistics. This time we discuss how to calculate the confidence interval of the variance or standard deviation of the population. I would like to re-emphasize the importance of inferential statistics with the following example. Suppose we need to measure the yield of products produced by a sugarcane plantation and its sugarcane processing factory. Since measuring the yield of individual sugarcane stalks is ridiculous, we have to take very limited samples. We measure the yield for the sample, and the results of this measurement are then processed mathematically. So then we can estimate population characteristic much more economically. This is only possible by using the inferential statistics. Confidence interval can be calculated for all population parameters, provided adequate sampling is available. In the previous segment, we discussed population mean confidence interval. Now, we discuss about calculating the confidence interval for variance and standard deviation. Note earlier that we always look for the confidence interval of the population parameter, not the identifier of the sample. Why is that? The answer is because we already know with certainty the characteristic value or the parameters of the sample without uncertainty. What has uncertainty is the population parameter, not the sampling statistic. Now we review how to calculate the confidence interval of the population variance of a normally distributed random variable x. The variable used to calculate this interval is the chi-square. In contrast to variables z and t, the chi-square is asymmetrically distributed, with a value determined by the significance level and the degree of freedom. After the chi-square lower and upper limit value are obtained, the confidence interval of variance can be calculated by the following formula. If what is required is the standard deviation confidence interval, then we just need to calculate the root square of the variance confidence interval. A little more detail on the chi-square distribution. The general form of the chi-square distribution table in the literature is as follows. The distributions are expressed as one-sided probability basis. Similar to the t-distribution table format, the left column represents the degree of freedom, and the top row represents the probability value or the area under the curve. The value of the chi-square variable is written in the body of the table. To calculate the confidence interval, we need the lower and upper limit of the chi-square. Since we need a two-sided probability, the value of the significance level that was set before the calculation should be divided by 2, and the same on the left and on the right. Note that because of the asymmetric shape of the distribution, the lower and upper bound of the chi-square are not a reflection of each other. Here is an example of calculating the variance confidence interval. It's easy enough for you to follow, and of course you can rewatch this video according to your needs. So I don't need to explain step by step about the implementation of this calculation. The thing that will easily interest you is that the data used in this example is the real data on the measurement results of weight per piece of chocolate candy in statistics class last year. I believe it is quite easy for you to find similar things in your daily activities that you can measure directly and process the data statistically. That is our brief discussion of the population variance confidence interval. This closing slide illustrates the importance of product variability in production quality control. The definition of quality or statistical quality is right on target and with minimum variance. This means that products are not only in accordance with user demand, but also with consistent characteristics from one batch to another. This photo of two cars illustrates the definition of quality. Both of these cars were produced in early 70s. On the right is the US-made Chevrolet Impala, and on the left is the first generation Honda Civic. If quality is connected with engine power and design, maybe we tend to choose the Impala. But if quality is linked to reliability, meaning that our cars rarely get unexpectedly damaged, then the operational data shows that the Civic is much more reliable than the Impala. And this reliability is due to the mass-produced component with high standards of consistency. That's on target with minimum variation. Thank you and see you in the next video.